we have, we plan to also meet with other agents.
Yes.
How would you respond? What's a good response to that?
I'm always going to want to ask when they're going to meet with those agents, because I want to be first one in. Because you run the risk of like it already being listed if you go last. It used to be rule of thumb that if you always want to be the last one in, but it's going to be, most likely it's going to be listed before you ever get a chance. Kyle, would you agree with going first?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I do my best to, when that happens, and I know there's people behind me, I do my best to just get them to sign it right then and there and tell them, I'm here, you're here, why don't you go ahead and sign it? And I will follow up with you this time tomorrow. And if you're comfortable, we'll go ahead and move forward. If we're not comfortable, I'll go ahead and rip it up for you and we'll move on. And that's worked every time but one. I couldn't get them to sign it, and I ended up getting the listing anyway. So.
Great. Okay, well, we're just going to dive right into this. And Kyle, you don't have to use this. Oh, this is the for sale by owner one. Are you doing expireds right now, Kyle?
I'm not doing expireds right this moment, no.
What are you mostly working on right now?
My database, right now, it's really been my database. Just listed, just sold.
Oh, good. Do you mind doing the expired script for Joyce?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, and Joyce, go ahead. Oh, sorry, Joyce.
Is she the agent or me?
You're going to be the expired it's just a phone call. You're going to be the expired, and Kyle's going to be the agent.
Okay.
All right, go for it, Kyle, when you're ready.
Okay. Ring.
Hello.
Hello, I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
Yes. Who is this, please?
This is Kyle over at Remax, and I'm sure you realize by now that your home has came off the market as an expired listing. I was just calling to set up an appointment to preview your home and spend about 30 minutes with you sharing my marketing plan. Which is better for you, tomorrow at 4 or Saturday at 2 o'clock?
Well, I need to look at my calendar. Do you have a buyer, Kyle? Is that why you're reaching out to me? Have you got someone that might be interested in my home?
No, if you were to sell this home, where are you going next?
I'm moving out of state.
Are you moving out of state? Okay, great.
Yes.
What state are you moving to?
I'm going to be going to Ohio, and I do need to get my home sold in the next couple of months. But I sure haven't felt like my agent has been very proactive. I would be happy to meet with you if you feel that you could present some marketing or some fresh ideas that might help stir activity on my home. How about 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon? Is that a time that would work for you?
2 p.m. would be fantastic.
Okay.
100%. Before I come out there, if what I say makes sense, you feel comfortable and confident, if I could sell your home, are you planning to list your home with me when I come out there tomorrow at 2 o'clock?
Well, yes, I do need to get my home sold, but I would certainly want to have a chance to meet you and to learn about your experience and how you might be able to accomplish this where my agent hasn't done the job for me.
No, absolutely, Joyce. Are you planning to interview more than one agent for the job of listing your home?
No, I actually hadn't gotten that far. I really wasn't quite aware that my listing had just expired. I thought it went to the end of the month. So you've given me a little update that is helpful.
I appreciate that. And tell me again, what state did you say you're going to?
I'm going to be moving to Ohio.
Ohio. And remind me, you said you had to be there in 2 months?
That would be the ideal, yes. I'll
Okay.
be transferring with my company. There's some flexibility, but the end of June is about the right time for me.
Okay. So Joyce, when I see you, how much do you want to list your home for?
Well, the current listing price is what I was hoping to obtain, but I have been on the market for 6 months. I don't know if my
Well, you know,
agent,
as a professional,
what's that?
I said, as a professional real estate agent, I study the market every single day. So I'm going to assume that you're going to price the home at a price that's going to cost the home to sell, correct?
Well, that's probably what I'm going to have to do, but I would sure love to have a good understanding of what that price should be. Are you able to
Absolutely.
do that for me?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. We'll go over
Okay.
my whole marketing plan, exactly what I do to get your home sold. Joyce, how much do you owe on your home?
I owe about $150,000.
Okay. So about 150,000. Have you ever thought about selling it yourself?
No, I don't want to have a bunch of real estate agents and people knocking on my door. I'm wanting to have it done properly.
Okay. Joyce, can you quickly just kind of give me an idea what your describe your home for me?
It's an older home built in the late 70s, 4,400 square feet. I've done some remodeling on it, and I live in a prime location. My backyard has a koi pond. I have a view over a 640-acre canyon that has wildlife. I do receive notices quite regularly that if I ever want to sell my home, that people are interested, both real estate agents and people who just leave me messages in my mailbox saying they'd love to buy my home. So it is an older home, but it's been well cared for, and it's the prime location. I think there's some real value in my location.
Sure. Okay. So it's an older home, but very well taken care of, and it's a great location, right?
Yes.
Beautiful.
I've done some recent remodeling on it.
I'm going to be sending over a package of information. Will you take the time to take a look at it?
I will.
Okay, perfect. And do you have any questions before we leave?
Yeah, I think my biggest question is, you're going to send me a packet. I'll review that. And then when we meet, what's your approach? What time do you need with me? How much time? And what are your expectations? Will you want to see my home?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I will drop off the package. And if you're able to take a look at that, I will also call you and confirm before I head over there and see if you have any additional questions.
Okay.
At that point, our meeting I'll be there at 2:00, and our meeting should take about 20 to 30 minutes max, depending on how many questions you have. And at that point, we'll be done.
All right. Well, Kyle, I look forward to seeing you, and we'll take it from there. We'll see what you've got.
Okay, perfect. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 2:00.
Okay. Thank you for your call. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, great, you guys. I kind of wanted to see Kyle. We normally do not go through the pre-qual process when we're role playing.
Okay.
But, don't we all want them to be as easy as Joyce, Kyle?
Well,
Yeah.
and
I was like,
truthfully,
I'm taking the listing. I'm taking it. She's going to give it to you. I'm taking it.
Absolutely.
So here's the rule of thumb, though. When Joyce gets a call from somebody out of the blue, no, they work hard, because, I would ask you, well, how did you get my number? Do I know you? Did someone give you my name? So I was trying not to be too much of a cranky person.
No, what I mean, Joyce, is that you're highly amiable. You're a people pleaser. So you set the appointment pretty quick with Kyle, and I let you go through the process of the pre-qual because if Kyle had just set that appointment with you and not gone through what, like letting you talk, like, did you
Right.
notice how long, like Joyce, like explained her home? I think if Kyle would have just set the appointment with Joyce, there's a good chance that that appointment might have been canceled. You know,
Okay.
her spouse would have come home. Maybe he knew somebody else at work that maybe Joyce knew too, and it would have been like, you know, I'm not sure who I even talked to on the phone today. Like he set an
Right.
appointment with me, but I'm not sure who it even was. But because Kyle took the time to like find out your motivation, like listen to you talk about your home, like he pulled some emotion from you, the chances of that appointment sticking by building more rapport with you through asking those questions is
Right.
gonna have the appointment stick for Kyle. And that's why
Okay.
I wanted to like have him go through that process, because when you set the appointment real quick, not only do you not have all the information you need, like motivation, information on the home, but you know, if you're talking to an amiable, an expressive, you know, even an analytical, a lot of times you haven't built enough rapport with them. Now, a driver,
Okay.
you don't want to stay on the phone with the driver, right? You want to let them go as quickly as possible, or you probably won't get the appointment,
Okay.
right? So you got to know your audience. So
So as you were going through this, Kyle, it felt to me, and I'm on this class to learn, but it did feel to me like asking for an appointment without me knowing more about you. Because in real life, no, I would have probably declined. And we're just going to tell you that all of those numbers I threw out are hypothetical, okay? You know,
Sure.
but
Well,
so
uh,
that I do appreciate, I do
are
find
you,
that
are
once
you
you answer,
specifically?
yeah, you ask questions and I felt like I was comfortable answering them with you.
Yeah. So are you specifically talking about the question about what I say makes sense? Is that the question that you felt uncomfortable with?
Which one?
The one that says, if what I say makes sense, you feel comfortable and confident, I can sell your home. Are you planning to list your home with me when I come out?
No, I think it was just asking for an appointment without me knowing more about you, in real life. And, you know, because when I get calls out of the
So
blue, I'm very cautious, you know.
and
yeah,
that's why I
and
say I could sense that from you. And that's why I say if Kyle had not gone on, I don't think that appointment would have stuck.
Right.
Right.
And it was good that you got me. As humans, when people ask us questions, we generally are comfortable asking or answering. You know, I've been told that when I talk to people, people tell me everything about them, but I'm the opposite when it's someone I don't know. So, but you did do that very smoothly and I answered your questions. So yeah, I think even in real life, you might have gotten an appointment at my house, you know.
yeah, and I don't disagree. And I have here it is. I typically don't use that expired one. I'm not. I was just because it was there in front of me, and
Right.
so that's not normally my expired one. It doesn't ask the question right there. That's why I was wondering.
Okay.
You have your expired
I just
script.
didn't have my script book in front of me, so I wasn't prepared.
Do you have your expired script?
What's that?
Do you have your expired script?
Yeah,
And really
I
quick,
left my
while he's
headset
pulling
at
that
home,
up,
so it's
Joyce,
hard to hear.
What?
can you hear us, Kyle?
I can. I don't have my headset. I left it in my other car, so it's kind of hard to hear it on my computer.
Oh, okay. I was just going to tell you, Joyce, I've used this script because I like letting people know why I'm calling. I'm calling for an appointment.
Right.
So, but then I back off and I really try to get rapport with that person. Because if someone like an amiable like yourself will set an appointment with me right up front, I do know that I've got to get rapport with them before I get off the phone. But my
Right.
intention calling them is to get an appointment. And some people will set an appointment with me right away. And that's what I'm trying to go for. But then
Okay.
I do know, depending on their personality style, how much I need to really gain their trust and their rapport with them. Does that make sense?
It does. So the question would be then, and Kyle, you followed this, I'm looking at it. Do you both generally try to ask for that appointment early?
No, Kyle's gonna do his script, and you may like this one better.
Okay.
So
Kyle, are
when
you
you're ready.
comfortable doing this again with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and Joyce,
Yes.
just because of our time restraints, just kind of be a little bit cooperative with him, just so you can hear this script.
Okay.
Oh, you
Let's
know
do
what,
it.
Mike? How are you doing, Mike?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Hey, Joyce, do you mind if Mike is the expired on this one?
That would be great. Yes.
Okay,
let's
awesome.
let's hear you do it, guys.
Okay, Kyle, you're the agent. Mike, you're the expired.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, I'm looking for Mike.
This is he.
Hi, Mike. Hey, my name is Kyle with Remax, and I'm sure you figured out by now your listing in your home is expired. I was calling to see when you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home.
I hadn't planned on calling an agent or talking to one. I just been working with one, and my home has been listed for a while. And no, I wasn't aware that it expired, but that's probably because I haven't had great communications with my last agent.
Okay, so you didn't realize that the home actually expired, and you haven't had the best communication with your agent. Perfect. If you sold this home, where were you going next?
I don't know. I was looking to downsize.
Looking to downsize. Well, that's exciting. So, Mike, how soon do you have to be there? Do you want to be in that smaller home?
I don't have a timeline. I was just looking at the market since the home prices were low. I was hoping to get some equity on my home to put as a down payment on the home and maybe pay down the interest rate on it. So I need to sell my home first.
Okay, so you need to sell your home first in order to have the money to buy down the rate on the next home. Perfect. Okay. What do you think stopped your home from selling, Mike?
I'm not sure. I just hear there's fewer buyers on the market now than there was a year ago, last summer. I don't know.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Well, how did you happen to pick that last agent you listed with?
It was my wife's friend's brother.
Your wife's friend's brother. Great, great. Well, what did that agent do that you liked the best, Mike?
He listed my home, but other than that, I wouldn't say a whole lot. I'm not sure what happened. He had an open house.
So he didn't do very much. Okay, man, that hurts a little bit right there. What do you feel they should have done, Mike?
I would have liked to seen more people come and look at it, but I understand the market the way it is. But maybe that's just it. Maybe it's not ready to sell. I don't know.
Okay. What do you expect from the next agent you choose?
I hope a little more proactive and get more people looking at the home, maybe some better offers.
Okay, be more proactive, bring more offers. Okay, get a little more showings. Perfect. I would like to apply for the job of selling your home, Mike. Are you familiar with the techniques that I use to sell homes?
No.
Exactly. And that's why we need to see each other. I have tomorrow at 5 o'clock, or I have Saturday at 2. Which one works better for you?
I probably wouldn't be available until next week.
Okay. Next week, what time is good for next week? I have Wednesday at 4.
I usually get home from work around 5:30 or so. Could you meet after that?
Yes, I could. I have 6 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, if that works.
I have something with my wife and her empty nesters program on Tuesdays. Wednesday would work better for me. You were mentioning.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I'll put you in at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And then I'll go into the pre-call.
Awesome. The reason I wanted Kyle to do that is Kyle is a pro at this. And can you see when he's doing a script that he's comfortable with,
Yeah.
what the difference is?
Yeah. See, that sounded more like a true conversation you'd be having.
And see, when you're comfortable with a script, it should just sound conversational.
Right.
And that's why whatever script you choose, you need to be comfortable with what you're asking, because if you're not comfortable with asking for an appointment up front, then don't ask for an appointment up front. See, I'm comfortable asking for an appointment, but if you're not, then do not ask for an appointment up front, because it will sound like you're not comfortable, right? You always, like, everybody's so concerned about tone and downswing and upswing and all the embedded commands. And I always say, yes, does it make a difference? Yes, I think that it's important that, at some point you can practice those things, but it needs to sound like you're talking to your best friend. It needs to sound like a conversation. So I say, put up a picture of like your husband, your uncle, your, a male that in your life where you feel comfortable talking to them, and a female, your wife, your sister, your aunt, like someone that you feel comfortable talking with. And then put those pictures where you prospect. And when you get on the phone, you're having a conversation with that person. Would you talk to that person the way you're talking to this prospect? Because truly, that's how you should sound. Not like you're a robot, not like you're trying to put all these weird, things in your voice. That makes sense? Yeah, okay. Joyce, do you want to give this a try?
Sure.
And what you could do is just don't ask for an appointment until you ask a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Once you ask a couple of questions and you feel like it's the right time, then go back to which is better for you, tomorrow
Okay.
at this time or Thursday at this time.
Okay.
Okay.
And who am I talking to, Kyle or Mike?
We'll give Kyle a break here.
Okay.
Mike, will you be the expired again?
Sure. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Hold on. Give me a second. I've got to.
Well, I'll be it for you for a second.
I can do it. However you'd like to do. I'm fine.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Mike, you're on.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Good morning, Mike. It's Joyce Walker with Remax Associates. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I have been keeping an eye on your beautiful home listing. I see it's just expired. How's that happening? Are you planning to relist your home, or might you be interested in hiring the right agent who could help you get that job done?
Well, I'm not sure. I just got done working with an agent, and you're probably the 20th agent that's called me.
Yeah, I'm sure I am. As far as your home sale goes, did you feel like you were getting the traffic that you were hoping?
No.
And is there anything that you feel might have been done differently as your house was marketed to drive more people to see your home?
I don't know. I would have liked to add more traffic, more offers. We got
Okay.
a couple only.
Did you receive feedback in the process of your home activity after you had showings? Did you get response from your agent from the people that came through?
We talked a little bit about it, but most of the offers we got were low ball offers. They weren't even worth entertaining.
Okay. Do you think that there might be a reason for those low ball offers? Anything on your home that might be able to be highlighted a little stronger, or to help your home show better, bring in the right client for your home?
I'm not sure. I thought we highlighted most everything we talked about, and during the process of it being listed, we did a couple of renovations, did some painting, and replaced a couple things in the downstairs bathroom.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit more about your home, Mike. What do you think are some of the strong features that you have to offer?
Well, it's in a good location. It's in Draper, not far from I-15. It's an older home built in the 90s, but split level. A lot of people seem to like those, but I think it's in a good location, and it sits on the corner on our street.
Well, it sounds like you have a desirable home. Why are you selling? What are your plans when when the home sells?
We were thinking about moving farther north. We've got some kids that are going to school up there, living up there. So I can work remotely from my job. So it's just sort of entertaining the idea of going up there.
Okay. And how soon would you like to accomplish your home sale?
Sooner would be better.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you've been just a little bit frustrated with the process. Is there anything that you expect an agent to do? What would your expectations be for communication or feedback or advertising, marketing? What are your expectations that you would like to see in your agent that maybe didn't occur with the last 6 months of your listing?
He was okay. He communicated with me about selling the home. It's just he didn't seem to have many buyers, and I don't know if that's the market or the agent or what. But
Okay.
I was, just kind of curious as to how we could reach more people. I'd sell it myself, but I don't know if I can reach more people on my own.
No, you most likely can't. We have so many avenues to get your home exposed. So I would love to have an opportunity to come and meet with you and your wife and share with you some exciting marketing approaches, some different avenues to get your home exposed, and of course to look at your home thoroughly and assess value and make sure that your home is being marketed at the right price and in its best and favorable light. Would you have some time tomorrow evening around 7 p.m. if I were to bring a package of information and sit down for 30 minutes with you and your wife?
I'd have to talk with her. She's the scheduler in the family,
Okay.
so I couldn't tell you if tomorrow would work or not. I could get back with you on that.
Well, why don't I get back with you? I'll follow up tomorrow morning. And if I could then get your email address, I'd be very happy to send some additional information for the two of you to review. And then confirm if tomorrow at 7 is a good time to help you see some fresh ideas how to get your home sold.
Okay, that'd be fine.
Terrific. And then I would ask a bunch of questions, and I'm sorry, I felt a little lame on all of that. So I'm really open for some input.
That wasn't lame at all. Your voice flexion was very comforting. You didn't
Good.
sound like you were trying to hustle. You didn't sound like you were trying to sell me anything. You didn't sound desperate. You sounded like you cared about me and my
Good.
home. And you asked a
Good.
question at the very beginning. I wish I had written it down, but I thought it was a really good question. I wish I could remember it now.
What was the gist of it?
It was at the very first. It was like the second or third question that you asked after you introduced yourself.
Let's see, what did we talk about? Was that in relationship to the lowball offers? And I did radio for years. I was one of the only and first women in Utah who did radio. So
Uh,
You have a great voice.
yeah.
All right. So I did feel like I
You're
kind of
very
wandered around. Oh, go ahead, Katie. What?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you're, like Mike said, you're very conversational. You make people feel really comfortable. I mean, the point of asking all the questions is
Right.
really just to gather information, to find out why they're moving, what their motivation is, and then, close based on, hey, Mike, if it makes sense, especially for an expired that's kind of gone off thinking they can't sell, they're frustrated, they're quite embarrassed that their house didn't sell. So you kind of have to show that empathy, and when you know the script, did you see Kyle's difference from the first one to the second one?
Yes, he knew that one flowed out of him much more comfortably because he's obviously used it.
Well, when it's more conversational, it sounds so much more empathetic, right? You can
Mhm.
show so much more empathy in your voice, especially towards expireds, because they really are embarrassed. They're so frustrated. They did want to pay a commission. They trusted the real estate community. They hired somebody. They planned to pay a commission, and then they let them down, right? And so they're looking for someone to come in and really say, you know what, while you're in, I put up some powerful closes right here.
Yes.
And this kind of gives you some ideas, like, you know, while your home was listed, you know, for the last 6 months, you know, Remax sold hundreds of homes. So I'm not quite sure why your home did not sell. And
Right.
I'd really like to sit down with you. And, you know, the market has changed since you first put your home on the market. And if it makes sense and you guys still want to go to wherever, you know, the motivation is, you know, let's look at the numbers, see what your home's worth now. And if it makes sense, you know, it may make sense to do it now versus waiting for the next 2 years. You know, do you have time this time or this time? So you gather the information and then you use it to close.
Let
So
me throw out a question. When Mike, you said you've had a bunch of lowball offers. So my mind went price, condition, location. So you've come in on an expired, the agent has had the previous home listed at 1 million, but it's really comping out at 850. So that opens up at how, when I would come in at the appointment, Mike, and then sit down and say, this may be why your home was overlooked because, and do a whole price presentation.
Part of the that process, I think, and like I said, I thought you did an A+ job. I possibly might have given you more information if you had asked the question and followed up with a question to get me to talk a little bit more. Again, that's always good to build rapport. But I was planning on, if you were going to ask as something like, what were those offers like, or why do you think they were lower, or something like that. I was
Mhm.
going to talk about some of these, people that call, and you know who they are, these companies that are like, oh yeah, I want to buy your house and I can get it, I can get it sold in, 10 days or
Right.
whatever. And, telling you I got a number of those calls that were annoying. And maybe you could have heard me and listened to me talk a little bit more, and then sympathized with me and then said, okay, those aren't the type of offers we want, and do you think it's priced right? And then following up with questions.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, if you,
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
for example, if you look on this just listed right here
Yes.
with, I don't know why that's not going up here. So whenever you're asking a question and somebody starts talking about that, like anything that's like concerning them, like that situation, always make sure you like just exactly what Mike just said.
Right.
Hey, tell me more about that experience. Share me what else, what else happened with that. Like make sure, like Mike said, being that listener for them is
Mhm.
really what they're looking for. Not even like they don't even want you to like maybe tell them anything other than they want someone to listen to them. And
I
just,
heard Kyle do that several times. He
yeah,
reiterated back. Okay.
yes. And I don't think there's anything more than listening to show empathy towards someone that just went through that experience of not getting their home sold.
Right.
So if they bring something out, like, because we can't really listen to anyone, because if we're so focused on what we're supposed to ask next, they say something and we just keep going, right? Instead of really stopping and listening to what's going on with what they're saying. Because I'll tell you, if you can build that rapport, that value through just listening to them, that's what's going to get you the appointment. That's what's going to separate you from everybody else.
Okay.
And yeah. So these are really good like ways to just wrap up the information that you get, the things that you learn on the phone from them, and make that appointment. The other thing that I've learned over the years is just, be cautious to not be too confrontational. Like you're really just listening to set that appointment. If
Right.
you're confronting them with a lot of information, a lot of like, this is what you should be doing. Oh, that's not, like being confrontational with like, anything. It really should be questions and listening, gathering information and listening to what's going on, and then setting the appointment. Because what I've learned is that we start kind of sabotaging our appointments by saying too much, right? Even when we do the pre-qual, whatever they say, we're just gathering information to where, we're getting off the phone saying, is this really a qualified appointment,
Right.
right? To where, is this worth our time? Instead of trying to like do the appointment on the phone. I think we get stuck kind of trying to do the appointment on the phone, and then there's no reason for them to meet with us.
Or they don't answer the doorbell when you show up.
Exactly. You gotta leave that enticement. Like, they ask the question like, can you really get me the price? Are you going to be different from other agents?
Right.
What are you going to charge for a commission? What are you going to do for me? They ask one of those things about price, marketing, commission, those types of questions. Like, that's when you set the appointment, right? Because you can say, you know what? That's exactly why I would like to sit down with you and your wife. Go over those things and explain to you how Remax is so much different and unique than, most of the people out there. I've got some time this time or this time. Instead of going into like everything and just kind of spewing, everything.
Okay.
That makes
I would guess it would be when you're face to face that then you would really go into, have you been out looking for your next property? Have you started the search? At what point is that even something that you would be used in the listing appointment request, or that is more of the face to face when you're with them and getting more information about their overall plan?
Yeah, that's really a motivation question. When I'm talking to them, pre-qualifying them, I
Mhm.
really want to know if they've been out looking, if they've talked to a lender, how motivated are they? Those are great questions to tell me, am I wasting my time? How far along are they in the process? No, those are great questions. Do they need another agent, a property manager in California right now helping them? Like, how can I help them anywhere in the process? Right? Because they're not just trying to sell their house. They're trying to put their kids in another school. They're trying to like find either a rental or another home. They're trying to research locations. There's a million things that they're trying to do, not just sell their property.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the more you can be that resource for them, they're all in, like, help them with whatever they need to accomplish.
Okay.
So, and it's just, knowing these questions and just getting out of our own heads about like what we're trying to say next is really the key. So, hey, Mike, do you want to go through this one time real quick before we're done?
If we have time.
Yeah, we've got time. Joyce, do you want to be his expired?
Yes.
Hey, go for it, Mike, when you're ready.
Okay, I'm going to use the one script that you gave here.
And I'm trying to get to there we go. Okay.
Yeah, if you're not looking at a script and don't know my questions, that's even better.
Okay. All right.
I want you to respond naturally, but yeah, regardless.
All right.
All right, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, I'm calling about your home for sale. Are you the owner?
I am. Who's this, please?
This is Mike Hooper. I'm with Remax Associates. And I'm sure you realize that your home is expired by now. Maybe you haven't realized that, but.
Yeah, I've been getting calls, Mike, quite a few.
Okay. All right. Well, I would like to learn more about your home and meet with you and discuss how I will help you sell your home. Can we meet this week when you have 30 minutes or so?
Mike, I've had an awful lot of phone calls. Can you give me some information about yourself that might help me to help you stand out a little bit? I think I've spoken to 7 or 8 people in the last 2 days.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure you have. And I'd love to tell you about me. I have been an agent for a dozen years or so and have helped people list their homes, including people that have had their homes expired or withdrawn or just having trouble getting it sold on their own. But I'd also like to learn a little bit more about you and kind of where you're at in your situation. Specifically, and maybe other people have asked this, but why do you think your home didn't sell in the time that you had it? How long did you have it listed? It shows here that it was 4 months.
Now, it was a 6-month listing. I don't really know why it didn't sell. I haven't had feedback to tell me if my house smells like cats or if I need to paint. You know, I've done what I think I should to make it look nice, but I don't really know why it hasn't sold.
Okay, that would be another really good reason to have a meeting, because what I do with my clients is walk through the home and ask questions about the home in general, what renovations you've done, what you like about the home, what you want to accentuate in your listings, and maybe give you that feedback that you're looking for as to, yeah, this room does smell like cat, or, you know, possibly this could be renovated, but there may be fewer things than you think that need to be set up for selling. It may just be the process. And I'd love to talk to you about the process as well.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit more. What is it that you think that, did you get any offers, for example, on the home?
No, I didn't. And that's what's really concerns me. I know the market has slowed, but has it slowed that much?
It has slowed, but I'm just curious as to, for example, did you get a lot of visitors coming, but no offers? Or did you not even get a lot of visitors coming to see the home?
I expected or hoped for more people to schedule to see my home. I'd get up and make sure it was clean every morning, and a day or two would go by and not a call, not a showing at all.
How close were you with your agent? How much did you communicate, and what kind of feedback did you get from him or her?
You know, I kind of expected him to call me to keep me posted if he was getting activity or not, you know, inquiries.
Okay, and you feel like you didn't get enough of that?
Absolutely. I was kind of disappointed. He was really sharp and made a good presentation, but I didn't see much of him or hear much from him after he put the sign in my front yard.
I see. I see. That's not uncommon. I kind of pride myself on being able to communicate with my clients and follow up with them weekly, if not multiple times during the week, to
Okay.
find
Well,
out
that's a
what your,
plus.
yeah, I want to find out what your expectations are every week, because they can change from week to week, and tell you why things are working or why they're not. Along with, when we meet and sit down, showing you my marketing plan and how I will promote your home, I want to follow up with you weekly and say, here's what we've done. For example, maybe an open house, or maybe a network of realtors that I work with, or listing on social media platforms. Other ways that we can do that to accentuate your home and promote it. Um, if you were to list with your home with me, what would be your expectations?
I would like to have at least a weekly contact. I'd like to know if you were seeing hits, if my home is being viewed. I'd like to know if you're getting questions or requests from other agents. I guess what I really need to know is what I need to do differently, or how I need to have it, how I need to have my home presented to get more activity on it.
Well, I really
kind of
like how,
wondered if maybe I was priced a little high, but I don't really know. I don't know how to gauge that.
well, you're extremely open to change. I really like that you want to find out what could be done differently, or maybe price change on that. First thing I do is I'd like to give you a home value analysis report and show you, when we sit down and meet, how your home compares with other homes that have sold recently in the neighborhood, or what kind of trends are going on in the area as far as home sales go. I have access to that data that I'd love to share with you.
I think that would be really helpful. I just haven't been sure. You know, I can drive around and see houses in my neighborhood, and I can pull up the information on realtor.com, but I don't really know how to gauge my home against theirs.
Okay. Yeah, what I'd also like to do is try to bring some buyers. I have a network of agents and clientele that frankly might be looking for homes that meet their needs that your home might satisfy. So I'd also like to talk with you about possible buyers and maybe try to bring some by shortly after. But tell me real quick, maybe the last question, what is the most important to you about getting your home sold? What I know maybe you just don't want to get sold, but do you have a timeline in place? Do you have plans? What are you thinking of as far as selling your home? And maybe why did you originally want to sell it?
I was thinking to move to St. George, and I don't have a time frame. I have grandchildren there. They're so cute. Love to be closer to them.
And you want to get out of the snow? Why would you want to do that?
No, I kind of like the snow, but I'd like to get to where I can be grandma a little bit more often. So, Mike, I think if you could come in and give me some real true value so I know what my home really is worth, I'd be happy to meet with you, but I'm gonna make you work. I really would expect that you would follow through on the things you're telling me you will do. Are you up to that?
Absolutely. And what we're going to do is we're going to set a shorter time for me working with you and evaluate. If your home isn't sold by then we're going to evaluate my performance and you can re-up and see if you'd like to continue working with me. I'm that confident that I can help you out and make you happy with the way your home is progressing.
I like that. I like that idea. Thank you. Then I wouldn't feel locked in if I had disappointments.
Exactly. Would you have time this evening or tomorrow evening or even the afternoon? I don't know what works for you.
Tomorrow afternoon after 2 is my first open time period.
Okay, I have some time at that time as well. Could we meet at 3 o'clock? Would that work for you?
Let's do it. Let's go ahead and I'll give you a shot.
I don't want to take more than 30 minutes or so, but it all depends on your questions. But I will be at your home at that time with some information that will be helpful to you.
All right, Mike, thank you.
Pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to working with you tomorrow.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye now.
Great job, Mike. Doesn't he have a great voice?
Yeah. Yep.
You guys both have great voices.
I've been told I should work in radio too.
Yeah.
Both have
They
very
thought
good
I'd be better
voices.
heard than seen, but maybe that's
No.
All right.
But
Now, maybe it's because I'm in the business, but when you mentioned you were going to bring buyers, we hear that a lot. And I would have asked if I were just a regular person, but we hear it all the time. Oh, so if you bring me a buyer, are you going to reduce the commission a bit? Do you find people bring that up when you're talking with them?
Definitely. Yeah.
On that initial.
And I'm willing to work with them right off the bat on that. Again, it comes back to, are you willing to have me be your agent and sell your home?
Right.
do you agree to do that on the phone though, before you even go over and meet with them?
No, we'll have that conversation because if I'm going to agree to reduce my cost, I need to have them sign an ERS.
So how about, would it work though to say, hey, that is something we can talk about when I come, and then say, is there any other questions before we meet this at, Thursday at 4 or whatever you're meeting, right? So, what I say is that until you go over there and build more rapport, which asking more questions is building rapport, you never know if they're even going to ask. And so what I say is until you build value, right? Think of it this way. Why doesn't everybody go to the dollar store and buy their dishes? They sell dishes, they sell kitchen stuff. Why don't you go to the dollar store to buy your dishes? They're the cheapest. Right? It's like, you've got to think of like, you can build value. Like there's a difference in value if you can build value with someone. So don't sell yourself short. Everybody's used to saying, hey, will you give me a deal? But get used to saying, hey, that's something we can talk about when I come out. And I'm telling you, I've done so many role plays with offices, as a broker. And we get up there, we do a role play, and I'll have 2 mock sellers. I'm the agent, and we'll get through. They sign the contract. They've thrown every objection in the world at me in a listing presentation. We get done, they sign, and someone in the class will say, hey, you didn't ask her to cut her commission. And they're like, oh, let's go back. And I'm like, you can't go back, right? And the point is that if you build rapport and value with people, oftentimes they won't ask for a discount. But if you don't build value with someone, then the only way they can see value in you is by cutting your commission, taking it overpriced, those two things.
Right.
Well, I guess the question would be is why did you not ask me about dropping my commission? Didn't it feel like the conversation was going smoothly enough that you didn't have to ask, or was that a question?
They don't think about it, right?
Yeah.
So if they're always asking questions and they're always thinking about themselves, what's important to them, what they're trying to accomplish, what their expectations are of you, what your expectations are of them, and they're always thinking about themselves,
Right.
and you don't give them a chance to like start firing questions off at you, like, how long have you been in the business? What are you going to do for me? What marketing are you going to do? What blah, 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 blah. How many open houses are you going to do? What are you going to do about this? If you keep them thinking about themselves and what's important to them, they're not going to say, what are you going to do for me? What discounts are you going to give me? Like,
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
You keep them in the zone of like so much value that they are never going to ask you to drop your commission. Like, it's so powerful.
Right.
So
Okay.
presentation becomes questions. So like Mike did this great part in when he was talking, like where I wished I knew everything that he said, but when you started telling them what you were going to do, Mike, like for them and while you had it listed, like you were going to
network with my
Yeah, it was very
realtors
smooth.
and set up on social media platforms and those type of things.
Yeah.
Yes. So those are sound bites. So you want to add those in there like as smooth as Mike did. And then you want to start it by saying, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, do you see the value in the fact that I'm going to do this and this and this and this? And because I'm going to do this, the benefit for you is that you're going to get so much more money for your home. Do you see, do you see
Right.
the importance of the fact that I'm going to do all these things for you? And they're like, yes, we can see the value in that. And then it leaves it open for you to now say another question, right? So if we don't say it in
Yes.
question form, we open it up for them to just start attacking us.
And Mike, you did move really smoothly from one thing to the next with a calm comfort, a confidence. I didn't feel in any manner that you were boasting or puffing. You just exuded, I know what I'm doing, I've done this, and I'm going to do the same for your situation.
Thank you.
So it was very, very comforting and believable.
And it was a very low pressure close. Like he was great at closing. Like he knew his audience, like he knew he was talking to a very amiable person, and it was a great close, Mike. So you did a great job. So
I thought I was being slightly difficult. I've got to work on that Disneyland thing a little. Car salesmen fear me.
I tell agents that people are not going to set an appointment with you, but Joyce sets the appointment with you. And so I'm like, unless you're talking with Joyce, people do not set the appointment with you. You have to ask for the appointment.
Well, when I bought my last BMW, I was negotiating in 3 states because there was such a shortage of cars.
Yes.
And they were calling and begging me after I'd say, no, you take another $3,000 off. Car salesmen fear me. I do not. I am far different when I'm purchasing a car.
Well, I'm not saying you're not a tough negotiator.
All right.
No,
so I saw Kyle flipping through a book. Where did that manual come from? Is
I'll
that
have to ask him. I mean, there's lots of books.
Right.
I'll have to ask him what he uses. It might be a Mike Ferry book.
Mhm.
I'll have to ask him what he's looking through.
Yeah, I'd love to get a copy of his script if he has one or is willing to give it up.
Yeah, it looked
Yeah,
like he had a substantial manual he was using.
Yeah, I have several script books. I'll ask him what he uses.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll find out what he uses and I'll let you know. But thanks you guys for being on the call. I hope this helped.
Thank
And
you. Yeah, it's a little awkward knowing you're talking with your peers, but I'm here to learn. I've been
there's
doing
no
this
better
30
way.
years and I feel like it's time to sharpen the saw, you know?
Well, it's always hard to talk on these things with, in front of other people, but it's the best way to learn.
Yes.
So I appreciate you guys being on. So
Thank you for your time.
Of course, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Mike.
All right.
Mike,
you,
nice
guys.
to meet you.
You too.
Okay, thanks so much, Katie.
Thanks, you guys. Talk
Bye-bye.
to you later.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.